Hey, good evening everybody. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make whole wheat bran squares. I decided to experiment and do something quite healthy to switch it up from like the pudding and the cookies that I put up recently. And I made a few versions of this before I hit on this final one. It's extremely healthy and tastes quite good, surprisingly. One of the earlier versions I had tried it with half a cup of ground flaxseed, which was too healthy. Instead of the rice checks. And if you want to surprise someone, April Fool's is coming up pretty soon, and you can swap that out and put ground flaxseed in it, and the result smells and tastes like fish, which is generally not too popular, but this one comes out just awesome. And you can, kind of sneak some fiber and whatnot in on people that really aren't wanting much of that in the form of what appears to be cake. So that's good too. So, first thing to do, preheat your oven to 400. And once you've done that, here's the list of ingredients. So you're going to need a couple of bowls and a big spoon for this. I tend to measure out all my dry ingredients first, if I can, into the same bowl, and if not, I get a spare bowl, because it just saves wiping everything out, and I do the milk last. So I've got the checks, the wheat flour, and the bran all measured out. Now I can start the wet stuff. And first thing you want to do is put the milk in the bran. Just kind of slosh that up a bit. But before you get your mixing spoon wet, what you should do is measure out your salt, baking soda, and baking powder into the flour. So once all your dry ingredients are in the mixing bowl, just pick that up and turn that over a few times. The point of this is to get the leavening agents, the baking soda and the baking powder, mixed in before the wet stuff hits it, because you have very limited time once that is in to get it in the oven. So you got to make sure your oven's hot and also that your pan is prepared. So I'll just get a piece of parchment and pop one in there. You can also grease it or use non-stick if you want. So once you've got all your dry ingredients mixed, just crack your egg right into the bran and milk. And stir that up a little bit with your spoon. Now, you'll have noticed I didn't rinse out or clean the milk cup. The reason for that is it makes it just so much easier to pour the molasses because a lot less sticks to it. So just measure that right in there. And I always use the fancy molasses. The extra few cents is really worth the difference in taste. And that helps that drain out a little easier. You can get a teaspoon if you want to scrape that out. I'm not that fussy, that's why I always pour in a little bit more, because I'd rather just make this in a hurry. So once you got that mixed in pretty good there, just get your dry ingredients, give it one last stir, and just dump all of that in. And stir that up with your spoon. Yeah, that's one thing I really love about this recipe. Not only does it taste great and it's really healthy, lots of fiber. Molasses has got a lot of nutrients in it as well. It's really fast to make. Okay, so when that mixed in, get your rice checks, or if it's April Fool's, your ground flaxseed. Half a cup will do just fine for you people that want to pull a trick on somebody. If you put more than that, they can probably smell it from 10 feet away and won't go near it. It works best on people with colds. So you don't want to break up these completely. You just want to have it stirred in really well. And then get your prepared pan and just bring that over and just turn it out right into the bottom of the pan. like I said, you don't have too much time with this because of the soda and the baking powder, so I wouldn't fuss too much with the sides. Yeah, that's pretty much all of it. And it doesn't look like much right now. I know that. But just spread that out with your spoon quickly. So it's pretty much even, and just pop that in the oven at 400 Fahrenheit for exactly 20 minutes. Timer went off, time to see what we've got. Yeah, isn't that something, eh? So there's the loaf. It's risen quite nicely. I do want to transfer it pretty soon. There's a couple ways to do this. You can either get an oven rack and put it on top and then just turn it over. That kind of wrecks the appearance of the top of the cake. Or you can just get your glove and swing that around a bit and then put your rack right on the oven for the time being. Now, this does require a little coordination, and ideally 2 people. If you've got 2 people, there's far less chance that the cake will tear. But there you go. So obviously if you had 2 people, you'd both grab a corner. That transferred quite successfully. And what I'll do briefly is just pull the paper down on the sides. You can see it's going to separate really well. And just let that cool off a bit before I edge it off onto a cutting board to slice it for you. So I started doing my edit while this was cooling off, and it's nice and cool to the touch. I'm going to be eating this, so don't worry about it. You don't usually like put your hands all over people's cakes, right? Except if you've got gloves on. And you can see how sturdy this is. You can just hold it up and peel it right off. Look at that, eh? It doesn't even break. So, let's move over and get that on the cutting board here. And for this, you should get a bread knife. And I'll just cut across and give you a look at that. So you can cut these into squares, whatever size you like. Or just serve it in pieces like that for breakfast. So I'll give you a nice close-up here. You can see that it's got a really interesting crumb because of the rice checks. So not only because of the leavening agents, the ones that didn't break up added some volume to the squares. And I'll just give that a taste there. It's really chewy, which I like. And strangely enough, a little bit of this will keep you full for quite a long time, you know? I'm even wondering maybe I should try a diet and just have like one of these squares every hour or 2 until I get hungry again and just see how much weight I lose, but I don't know. Anyways, that's how I make whole wheat bran squares. Thanks for watching. I do hope you give this a try, and I do hope to see you again. Bye-bye.